Hey guys, it's FFP, coming at you live, not really, and welcome to part 1 of FlashFirePrime's Guide to Stop Motion, which is going to be a small series that I'm making to help people get into stop motion themselves. Cause see, I don't do stop motion professionally. In fact, I do it on no budget at all, which obviously stop motion is time consuming, and if you did do it professionally, would probably be money consuming as well. But everything I do stop motion with is stuff you can find at home, which I hope helps you guys who are trying to get into stop motion get started yourselves. So first of all, what is stop motion? Stop motion, at least in my definition, is the ability to bring inanimate objects to life, to tell stories, and bring your imagination out. So what can you use to animate? You can use Transformers, Star Wars figures, Halo figures, Hero Factory, Bionicle. You can use anything, really, as long as you can move it, and it's not like you can't move it yourself or just impossible to do with, like you can't do stop motion with air, at least I don't think you can. Then you can surely make a video with it. So before you get started, always think about what are you going to do, because you don't want to have everything set up. Oh, I'm going to have my camera here, my lights here, and all this. I'm going to use these characters, but you have no story to tell. So you're going to be sitting there with your camera thinking, what do I want this guy to do? And you're going to be sitting there wasting time without knowing what to do. So the most important thing to do is think, what do you want to do? Stop motion fighting videos are usually one of the easiest things to come to mind, although they also take the longest time to make, depending on how long you make it. You can make a comedy video, you can make something short, it could just be like a skit or something. But yeah, also, how are you going to film it? Some people go straight stop motion only, which means photos only, snip snip, snip snip, snip snip. Some people sometimes do just videos and hold their characters in front of the camera and pretend to talk with them, which I guess really isn't stop motion, but there's an idea for you guys there. And some people do hybrids. You may notice in some of the older Bionicle videos on YouTube, in a lot of fight videos, they'll have like a little bit of stop motion, and then when the guy gets punched or kicked, they switch to video with the guy's leg going like this, and then the person falling down, and then back to stop motion. So think about it. You want to do photos, you want to do video, you want to do hybrid. Now that you have your story and how you're going to do it, you might want to put up a storyboard. Here's an example storyboard I made of what I'm probably going to do here with Aquagon and Stormer, the Hero Factory guy. You can see I have every scene numbered out in order, and what's going to happen. See, for here I have Stormer kind of walking into the photo here at an angle, just so he's not looking at the camera, so it looks kind of natural, you know what I'm saying? So I said enter Stormer, and then line 1. Line 1 because I'm planning on having them talk. So for you guys, also think about that. Take into consideration, do I want to act out lines and record them and go through all that, or do I want to do captions, like, or do I just want to do all in body language? Because I'm assuming most of the people who are watching this watch me because of my Bionicle videos. So if you guys know the old Bionicle videos, like old BioTube, and even some of the videos on my channel, I use captions on the bottom of the video, probably around this area here. You want to take into consideration how long do I want to put that caption there for, because if you have the caption lingering too long without moving the video along, then people will just be staring at a picture, and it's really going to break the fact that it's stop motion and really take the guy out of it, right? Because people watch stop motion because they can see the characters they want to see interacting in real life, right? Like, people watch Bionicle stop motions because they're funny, or they get to see their favorite Toa or Makuta fight and all that stuff, right? And to see other people's Bionicles fight and do whatnot, because it's funny and all that's and entertaining, right? So yeah, I have this storyboard as you guys saw, and take into consideration you could also write a script if you're going to record your voice and audio, but then you'll have to take into consideration also that you need a program to record with, and you're going to need some kind of mic. So after you got that done, the setting and the lighting, these are important. You can see here that this might be an optimal setting to do stop motion. White background, white floor, plain, simple. Because say if I did it on the ground, then what? You might see a bedpost or the bottom of the desk, and if you pretend to switch scenes, people are going to be like, oh, well, this looks like the exact same place you were in before. But at least if it's plain white floor, plain white wall, then you can pretend, just be like, oh, use your imagination. Because this is white and it exactly looks like nothing, people can use their imagination to fill out where they are. Because if I said I was in the desert, I'm in the desert. Fade to black, now I'm in the tundra. But if I was down on the floor, say here, people are going to be like, okay, well, that's the exact same wires and plugs and extension cord I saw in like the last scene. So what are you trying to pull on me here? If it's white, you can't really tell the difference. Furthermore, lighting. Now, lighting, important. Luckily in my room, the lighting doesn't change too much during day, because even though I have these ceiling windows, the sun is usually, I think the word's perpendicular to them. So it's not facing the windows, but it's more like beside the windows. I don't know if that makes sense. But lighting. See, right now I just have the regular lights on. And it's more, I guess you can say darker, saturated looking color, right? If I turn this lamp on, now everything's brighter, crisp. You can see the character's shadows on the ground. You'll see most people who take stop motion more seriously usually have white light, strong light actually, so you can see the character's shadows and you can see them cleaner and clearer. So lighting's important. It also sets the tone and the mood for the video. If you see videos where there is no lighting at all and everything's just dark, then it really takes the person who's watching out of it, because they can't see what's going on, which sucks. So take lighting into consideration as well. You don't want to have a video where in the comment sections people are just complaining about, what am I looking at, where is the characters, this video sucks because I can't see anything, right? So yeah, lighting's important. Lamps, you can get them anywhere. I'm sure you guys all have like lamps or even flashlights. You could hang a flashlight up somewhere by like a rope, like a little string. Like, see, if my shelf like this, I could get like a little flashlight and just string a rope around through this loop here, stick a flashlight there, and bam. As long as it's strong enough, I can get a good enough light, or some kind of like lantern, right? So now that you guys got the lighting and setting out of the way, what about your camera? Obviously, you guys wouldn't even try doing stop motion without a camera, but that all depends on what kind of camera you have. Some people can't afford a good quality camera, but it is important to have a good camera. I'm not saying you can't do stop motion if your camera isn't like 1080p or whatever, because mine certainly isn't. But I'm just saying, people tend to look into that kind of stuff, and I'm sure even if your pictures are kind of blurry, make sure you're always focused on your characters, and if you can, find even like a free editing software on the computer where you can touch it all up. Now, a good thing to have with your camera is a controller, a wireless controller, because this will allow you to take photos without having to press the button on your camera. I didn't used to use this. I used to just press the button up here on top of the camera to take the pictures, but the problem with that is that sometimes I would get you out of focus, and then if you look here, I'd be going like this to press the button down all the time, and it would make the camera shaky and sometimes move like that, which isn't the best thing to go by. And for all you guys out there, this is a Canon. I think it's called FS10. I don't know, that's just what it says on the front here. But it takes photos and videos. So that's good. Especially if you're going to be one of those hybrid guys, which I tried doing once, but I'm more of a pure photo kind of guy, even though it takes time. Now for stands wise, if you look here, I'm literally just using DVDs and like a box lid to put it on, depending on what kind of height you want and where you want the camera. This is the tripod I use for most of my videos. It's nice and tall. It's not the one that came with this camera. I hope you guys know that. But it's good because, well, actually I'll tell you the story of what happened to my tripod. When I was making my first Halloween special, I believe that was 4 years ago now. It's like the second video on my channel. I broke the tripod because there was like this screw that you had to loosen up to be able to move the ball joint around, I guess. But I didn't, and I just tried cranking it and I snapped it. So, luckily, we had a bandstand thing lying around. Chopped the top off, soldered on a screw, and there you go. And that's our new stand. Luckily, it has adjustable height, thanks to this. And it's good enough because if I want to get like a far angle, or if I'm using bigger characters, I need to get their whole body, I can use this because I can move back and forth, up and down, stuff like that. The problem is that the screw is kind of soldered on at a weird angle, so sometimes they look a little lopsided. But yeah, stands, people. You could use this. There's no problem with it. Well, actually, the only problem would be going at angles like this and this. But that's easily fixable by, say, Star Wars trading card game. Perfectly fixable. Just shove it under like the back part of the camera. Tape it down. There you go. Now you can look at George. Shove that back in there. So, there you guys go. I hope you learned something from this video. And I hope you join me for part 2 when we get into the actual stop motion part. So I'd like to thank you guys all for watching. Thank you so much. Every view counts. And all you guys who subscribe to me and all you guys who are watching are the reason why I'm still making videos, even though they're not coming out as much as I like to. Thanks summer to that. Jeez, it gets like 100 million degrees in my room. Like I'm sweating right now, man. But yeah, I'd just like to thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you next time. FlashFirePrime, signing out.